Bhabhi, please, my college friends are coming home today, just this once. Please save my reputation. Riya almost pleaded as she slowly placed the basket of vegetables from my hands onto the kitchen counter. I had been working non-stop since morning. My head was pounding with pain, but seeing the nervousness in her eyes, I forced a small smile. How many people are coming? I asked softly. Just 7 or 8, she said shyly. And if possible, can you make your special paneer, dahi vada, and gulab jamun too? I looked at her carefully. There was excitement on her face, but fear in her eyes. Maybe she was scared that I would refuse. But how could I? Riya was not just my sister-in-law. She was like my younger sister. When I first came into this house after marriage, she had quietly entered my room and whispered, Bhabhi, don't be scared. I'm on your team. I still remembered those words. I smiled gently and said, all right. Don't worry. The moment she heard that, relief spread across her face. She happily ran outside while I returned to the kitchen. For the past few months, the atmosphere in the house had already been stressful. Father-in-law had lost his job. My elder brother-in-law lived in another city. And somehow the entire household was running only on my husband Ravi's salary. Expenses had increased so much that by the end of every month, I had to quietly give up my own little wishes. But I never let anyone feel how fragile our situation really was. Riya was still in college. Her world revolved around dreams, friends, assignments, and laughter. She understood that the family was struggling, but maybe she never truly felt the depth of it. And honestly, I never allowed her to feel that burden either. That morning, I worked continuously. First, I soaked the lentils for the dahi vada. Then I prepared the batter. After that, I cooked the paneer gravy, put the pulav on the stove, and finally started frying gulab jamuns. The heat of the kitchen had turned my face red. My hands were slightly burnt from the hot oil. But there was only one thought in my heart. Riya should never feel embarrassed in front of her friends. By evening, the entire house was filled with the delicious aroma of food. Every few minutes, Riya peeked into the kitchen nervously. Bhabhi, everything will be ready, right? And every time I smiled and replied, you just go get ready. A little later, her friends arrived. Soon the house was filled with laughter and loud conversations. I stayed inside the kitchen, arranging everything quietly. Then suddenly, I heard one of the girls say, Riya, your house is actually really simple. I thought it would be more modern. Another girl laughed softly. And this old sofa. It looks so outdated. I heard every single word. Riya probably felt uncomfortable because her voice suddenly became quieter. But a few moments later, dinner was served. And the moment everyone took their first bite, the entire atmosphere changed. Oh my God! One of the boys exclaimed, this is honestly better than restaurant food. Another girl immediately asked, Riya, did your mom make all this? Riya stayed silent for a few seconds. Then she looked toward me. I was standing quietly near the kitchen door. She smiled proudly and said, no, my Bhabhi made everything. Everyone's eyes turned toward me. One person made all this alone? A girl asked in shock. Riya smiled proudly. Yes. My Bhabhi is the superwoman of this house. I smiled softly after hearing that. But then one of the boys joked carelessly. Well, lucky you. Even after marriage, you won't have to worry about cooking. Your Bhabhi is here, right? Everyone laughed. But this time, Riya didn't. She looked at him seriously and said, no, my Bhabhi is not a machine. Everything you're eating today came from her hard work. She hasn't rested for even 1 minute since morning. And honestly, if anyone is holding this family together right now, it's her. The entire room fell silent. For the first time, I saw deep respect for me in Riya's eyes. That night, after all her friends had left, I was quietly cleaning the dishes in the kitchen. My whole body ached with exhaustion. Suddenly, someone held my hand from behind. I turned around. It was Riya. Her eyes were filled with tears. Bhabhi, I'm sorry. I looked at her in surprise. For what? Tears rolled down her cheeks as she said, I was always lost in my own world. I never realized how much you do for this family. But today, when my friends mocked our house and our things, I finally understood something. A home is not built with expensive sofas or modern furniture. It's built with someone's love, sacrifice, and hard work. My own eyes became moist. I gently held her face and said, "Stupid girl. Relationships are not about keeping score." But something inside Riya had truly changed that night. The next morning, I woke up early as usual. But the moment I entered the kitchen, I froze in shock. The kitchen was already clean, tea was boiling on the stove, and Riya, wearing an apron, was trying to make parathas. The moment she saw me, she smiled brightly. "Bhabhi, today you sit and rest. You're on leave." I burst into laughter. "You're making parathas?" She grinned mischievously. "If they taste terrible, just eat them with love. After all, I'm your little sister." That day, for the first time, we cooked breakfast together. While working, we laughed, talked, and teased each other like real sisters. And in that moment, I realized something beautiful. Relationships don't change overnight. Sometimes, just one realization is enough to bring two hearts closer forever. After that day, whenever Riya came home from college vacations, the first place she entered was always the kitchen. Sometimes she chopped vegetables, sometimes she made tea, and sometimes she simply sat beside me late at night, talking for hours. And every single time before leaving, she would hug me and say, "Bhabhi, you are not just the daughter-in-law of this house, you are the heartbeat of this family." If this story touched your heart, comment Radhe Radhe below. And don't forget to subscribe to Soul Stories by NK.